Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Beshalach. The Vilna Gaon, Rabbi Eliyahu Ben Shlomo Zalman, 1720 to 1787, had to spend a lot of his efforts combating the burgeoning Haskalah movement in Europe. At one point, a Russian museum had in its possession a rock that was supposed to have special powers. So the scientists examined it, but they couldn't find out what the special power of this rock was. So they sent it out to Germany, which was at the time the cultural and scientific center of the world. And the scientists there tried to examine it, and they couldn't. They were ready to give up and return the stone back to Russia. Moses Mendelson, a leader of the Haskalah movement and also a scientist who was at the meeting, said, before we send back the stone, there is this great Rabbi Elijah of Vilna, who has great wisdom. Let's see if he can figure it out. So they sent a delegation of two professors to the Vilna Gaon. He took a look at the stone, and he took his fingers, touched it, whatever, examined it, and finally he called over to his gabbai, his attendant, and he said, Rab Hirsch, bring me a glass of water, please. They brought him the glass of water. He took the stone, he put the stone into the glass, and immediately it began to fizz, and there was some smoke, and all of a sudden the glass was stone dry. The water was gone. The two professors looked at it and they were amazed. They said to him, honored rabbi, honored rabbiner, what happened? Can you explain this to us? Please explain it to us. So the Gaons told them the stone is sapphire. And one of the properties of a sapphire is that if it's put into water, it breaks down the water into its components, hydrogen and oxygen. So that's what happened here. And that's what made the water go away. The professors were duly impressed with the Vilna Goan, and they went back and they told the story to the committee. This time they twisted Moses Mendelson, stood up and said excitedly, now we know the natural reason why the sea split for the Jews when they left Egypt. Moses' staff, which the rabbis say was made out of sapphire, so when he put it to the water, that's what made the water change back to its compounds. Trying to twist away the nisim of the Torah. But when the Vilna Gaon heard this, he responded, you heretic. The rabbi said, and this is based on the pasuk in our parsha, Ata harei mesmadcha, you should lift your staff, umanutei es yadcha al hayam, and extend your hands over the sea, and split it. So you lift up the staff, but it's not the staff that you put on, because the Vilna Gaon says, Midrash says, Harem teaches us that you set aside the staff. That this way it would be only the hand that was over the sea. And that is exactly why the reason that the staff was cast aside, so that the heretics in the future would not be able to claim a naturalistic reason for what happened with the splitting of the sea for the Jews and the drowning of the Egyptians. This reminds me of a time that I overheard at my office that one person was explaining to another person, a Christian, that I don't remember the exact reason, but let's say it was a storm, a eastern storm or wind, something happened at that exact moment that naturally caused the sea to split. It wasn't a miracle that Moshe Rabbeinu did. I went over to the person, asked afterwards privately, and they said, it may be true, let's say that there was the storm, let's say the storm came let's assume the storm came, I'm not saying it's true, but even if the storm came in exactly that, isn't it an amazing coincidence that the storm that hasn't come in forever came exactly, opened up the sea when the Jews needed it, and collapsed and killed the Egyptians right afterwards? That timing, that's surely a miracle, you have to admit that. So this is the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is in charge. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.